Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and today I'm doing a discussion over Iceman, one of the newest heroes for Marvel Champions. And it actually feels a little bit like we've been waiting since a new hero was being released for the game, but here we are with one of the newest. I believe Iceman is an X-Men. And yeah, we're going to go over some of his cards and my overall thoughts on this hero. So, starting off with Bobby Drake, he begins with 6 Frostbite cards. Now, these Frostbite cards are kind of like conditions, like an extra condition that you put on characters, which is very interesting because, like, since the game came out, well, not really since, but whenever they start releasing more and more and more heroes, I kept thinking, they really need to do more conditions instead of tough, confused, and weakened, or whatever the third one was. And I thought they were just going to do a generic one, but here with Iceman, they actually gave him his own, and that's kind of what this whole deck is centered around. So Frostbite says, attached enemy gets -1 scheme and -1 attack, and after the enemy activates or leaves play, it goes back into the pile. So, and because it doesn't say unique or anything like that, like, you can stack these onto characters. At least that's the way I've been playing him. Which kind of makes sense that you'd be able to do that. So a lot of cards that he has will put these Frostbite cards on enemies and multiple enemies. But his initial alter ego ability is Cool Off. After you change to this form, you get to shuffle 1 ice card from your discard pile into your deck for each copy of Frostbite in play, and that can be really good whenever you do it. There's like a certain card that will put a bunch of Frostbite out, and if you want to keep the longevity of your deck in play, then you could put out a bunch of Frostbite and then go to alter ego to get some of these really good cards back, and just keep a perpetual Frostbite card on enemies, which overall just weakens them. So 4 recovery, 6 hand size, 11 hit points, pretty standard. And then we go into Iceman. 1 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense, and he has freeze! Interrupt. When Iceman makes a basic attack or defense against an enemy, you attach a set-aside copy of Frostbite to that enemy. And then he goes down to 5 hand size. So, not bad. Like, basic attack, basic defense, just puts a copy of Frostbite. He has some upgrades, so let's take a look at them. He doesn't have many upgrades, but the ones that he does have, specifically to him, are pretty helpful. One, you have his power belt. So, like, the power belt here is you get 3 hit points, which is really nice because he's aggression. So you're not wanting to. I mean, you kind of want to defend with him sometimes because then you get to put a Frostbite out. But ultimately, since his hand size is so low and a lot of his cards cost a decent amount with no real way of making them cheaper, then that hand size becomes a bit of a problem. But extra hit points, and then also you can exhaust that to generate a wild resource. That does help with the cost of some of his cards. And then you have his Ice Slide. This is really good. Gives you +1 thwart, attack, and defense, and gives you the aerial trait. This is a super powerful upgrade to have for a 2 cost. But whenever you do change to alter ego form, this gets shuffled back into your deck, which is nice. I mean, not a lot of heroes do put cards back into your deck. So, like, the fact that can perpetually be coming out, that could be very helpful. Yeah, and then that gives him a 2/3/3, which goes a long way with regular attacking and defending to get those Frostbites out. And then you have Cryokinetic Perception. So, yep. After you resolve your freeze ability, exhaust this card to draw a card. If that card has an ice trait, you get to ready him. So these are really good to have onto him. I will say he kind of hurts a lot whenever he doesn't have, like, Ice Slide or Cryokinetic Perception, because, I mean, you don't have a lot of card draw. So because a lot of these cards cost 2, 3, 4, like, you're doing one thing a turn, 1 or 2 things a turn. So being able to do your attack. Let's say you have Ice Slide and do your attack and do 3 damage to a minion or to the villain, and then you get to draw a card. That could be really good while also putting Frostbite on an enemy. And then if you draw a card and it has the ice keyword, you can ready him again to then attack again for another 3 damage and then do another Frostbite on them. That can be super helpful. So I think his upgrades go quite a long ways for Iceman. And then we can take a look at some of his actual damaging cards, which not a whole lot. He's also not the best with dealing with schemes or threats, and I would know because I just played him against Red Skull, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of side schemes. And as if you've played against Red Skull, if you don't deal with those side schemes, he hits pretty hard. But one of his best cards, I think, is Ice Blast. This is just a universally good card that is, you choose a player and you attach a set-aside copy of Frostbite to the villain and each minion engaged with that player, and then you deal 3 damage to everyone who has Frostbite. So the fact that if you're swarmed with minions, you can, 1, damage the villain and then potentially kill off a bunch of minions as well. Now you are limited to the 6, so going up against Ultron, if you're swarmed with bots, you're going to deal with a bunch of them, but you're not going to get all of them. He doesn't do some AoE attack, but that's really good. I mean, it could be paired up well with Arctic Attack because you can choose deal 4 damage to an enemy and attach Frostbite to it, or deal 6 damage to an enemy with Frostbite already on it. So this is a good 1-2 combo whenever you're attacking, let's say with Ice Slide attached for 3 damage, putting Frostbite to then do Arctic Attack, to then do 6 damage for a total of 9 in just one fell swoop. His one set-aside thing that does allow him to kind of deal with some schemes is the Chill Out. Remove 3 threat from a scheme, and then you can attach a set-aside copy of Frostbite. So as you could tell, a lot of the stuff for Frostbite is, a lot of what Iceman does is Frostbite. And then his one support that is pretty helpful is when an identity would take an amount of damage from an enemy attack, you place damage on there. So this, and then you just, it takes up to 8 damage. And once you discard this, you set aside a copy of a Frostbite to the person who just attacked. So this is really good if you can get out early. You kind of have a dead turn where you're like, okay, I can burn, because he only has 5 cards. I can burn the 4 cards in my hand to put Ice Wall out, and that just absorbs 8 damage. That can be really good. Other than that, I mean, he does have a shadow clone. He's Naruto. He does have a snow clone. Get it? He does have a snow clone. 2 attack, no thwart with a consequence damage, but he doesn't take consequence damage if you attack someone with Frostbite. So if you're able to constantly keep that out, you have an ally that's out there. With 2 health, just 2 attack. That's not nothing. And he has just 2 of those, I believe. 2 or 3. There's 1 there, and 2. Yeah, he has 2. So, he does have ways to heal, with a regular basic card, this recuperation card that lets you heal damage from it equal to your recovery. That can be really good, especially because you have, where is it? It is called The Power in All of Us. This doubles the amount of resources cost for basic gray cards. So these 2 alone lets you have a recuperation out for basically an 8 heal with him. And then he has things like Take That, which is deal 7 damage to an enemy with an upgrade attached. That could be really good. Unfortunately, so the Frostbite, for example, if you attach Frostbite and then you pay for Take That, that's 9 to 10 damage. But again, it costs 3, and he doesn't have many ways to generate resources. So, you're kind of doing big hits, but not a lot of hits. You're not doing a lot of big hits. Let's see. He has Frozen Solid attached to an enemy. When attached, the enemy would activate, discard this instead, then attach a set-aside copy of Frostbite. So that costs 3. And that's a lot of what he has. I mean, not going over his aggression stuff, but like specifically stuff to Iceman. Overall, I think he's okay. Like, I'm not like thrilled by him. I love the condition stuff, but at the end of the day, that's kind of his gimmick. Is he puts Frostbite on, and then it's like, okay, now they're weaker. He feels like he's support more than anything, and not in like the fun kind of support. I don't think, like, he puts on Frostbite. Now they're -1 scheme, -1 attack. Okay, now they go, and then they get rid of it, regardless of how many is on them. It's like, okay, now they get rid of it. So yeah, and you're just always doing that. You're always putting Frostbite on, and then occasionally you get to spend cards to be able to do a big hit or do a big AoE wipe of minions. Other than that, yeah, you have a decent amount of defense with Ice Wall, but it costs 4. I mean, your Power Belt lets you get a wild, so it costs 3, but that's still 3 cards. You don't have anything in this pre-built deck that allows you to like make that any cheaper. Now, granted, it does put Frostbite on almost everything and just innately does damage. So to me, being able to put Frostbite on the villain and stuff and the minions to then damage them bypasses guard, which is good. And that's pretty much it. Like, he's not bad by any means. Like, I'm not sitting here like, man, this guy sucks, but he's not super fun, I don't think. I feel like I'm always limited with my cards and my health and my damage and my thwart. So it's like, if I'm limited the entire time, it's like occasionally I can do something good. Yeah, it doesn't feel super fun for my playstyle. But God, yeah, and I feel like trying to come up with a bunch of ways to have him do damage. So let's say, so Power Belt's not going to be, so Power Belt is going to be good. And then we can do, yeah, so Ice Slide, which also, let me just double check. There's not a second one in here. I don't know why there would be. Yeah, okay. So, like I always do for my videos, I try and see if I can just quickly come up with the most amount of damage. So let's say in like the perfect hand, so we have snow clones, and the villain has a frostbite on them because all it really takes is just 1. Okay, so for the perfect hand, because the power in all of us isn't going to be amazing, frostbite might not be it actually. We can do Arctic Attack. And then, yeah, that might just be it. So 2 Arctic Attacks. We'll say it came from Alter Ego, so we can have 6 cards in his hand. Yeah, actually, it might be take that, and then just 4 cards. I can't really think of anything that's going to be super amazing, because even if you're able to draw from his card, like to do take that and Arctic Attack is 5, so you need 6, because that'd be 3. Oh well, yeah, so you're gonna need, so here's 4 cards. So I think, yeah, you attack with Iceman, which is gonna be 3 damage because of the Ice Slide, and so that's 3. Then you will, oh, where was it? Dang it. It was, right there. The cryokinetic. Okay, so he did this freeze ability, he put another frostbite on them. He draws a card so that he had 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so he draws, and he has 7. Oh, look, it has the ice keyword, which readies him. Then we attack again for another 3, so that'd be 6. We pay 3 to then do take that. So that's 7 damage because they have frostbite on them, so that would be 13, and then we pay 2 to do Arctic attack, and since they have frostbite, that'd be 6, so 19 damage. And then since they have frostbite on them, we have the snow clones attack, 19, 21, 23 damage. That's not nothing. I mean, that's still a lot. I mean, in a multiplayer game, that would one shot at least in a two-player game. So that's not nothing. But it's not super exciting. Yeah, so I don't know. I like the conditions, but I mean, I don't know what I was expecting. Like, he's an ice guy. He's an ice guy. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on Iceman. On a scale of 1 to 10, 6 is kind of where I'm at for Iceman. Like, I think he could be done really cool if you can make like I think people can build decks around this frostbite better than the pre-built. So he has a lot of potential, but as of right now, I think he's slightly above average. He's not horrible. He's not my least favorite out of the heroes, but I don't think he's all that exciting overall. But still, 6 is not a horrible score. So that's it. Yeah, that's my thoughts on Iceman. Let me know what you think of him in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.